philosophy is not necessarily anything special or even useful. It can be just playing word games or logic games, like proving the existence of a god that has no secondary qualities like caring about persons or tormenting persons' job, e.g. no ontological proof ever deduced Job's fate or Jesus Christ's resurrection, and there are religions that don't have any such deductive deity at all, e.g. Shinto and Buddhism. I think what is important is for persons to take over their own lives from their pre-reflective sleepwalking form of quasi-living. Self-accountable, self-reflective, reflective, and also empathic, etc. thinking is what is important. I think, crucially important, for else people are just flotsam and jetsam of their ethnicity of origin and/or their political regime of adulthood. If one wishes to call that philosophy, that's fine. I once took a course from one of the most respected philosophy professors of the 20th century, John Wilde. He liked me because I thought about the meaning of living and did not just cranked out neo-scholastic jargon like some of his graduate students. He was an existentialist. He was concerned about persons living and dying, suffering and enjoying, etc., even the living experience of a prisoner, among others. Also, there are persons who think but are not salubrious, example Martin Heidegger. One must be careful criticizing that man because there are many small people who just like to be fleas buzzing around the heads of persons higher than they are. But I bet Martin Heidegger never thought about being a cancer patient, or being a real peasant. He liked to pretend he was a peasant, or being a lifelong meat disassembly line wage slave. Such things are as much philosophy as nous. And it is hard to think about being when one has to be always on one's guard to keep a machine's knife from chopping your arm off. If any person wishes to be a philosopher and be special, I would urge them to start with a little essay available free on the internet. It's over, Debbie, Journal of the American Medical Association. There are no big words in that essay. Just one, failed philosopher's thoughts. I hope they stimulate others to, as the old IBM Corporation motto had it, think. The ancient Greeks are part of it, as well as the familiar names such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. People seem to dismiss philosophy, as though the ancient Greeks and the entire package don't exist. Not to mention the rest of the picture long before the Greeks. People seem to only want empirical answers. But why does the focus have to always be on answers? What is wrong with turning to philosophy for enrichment and connection to history, as well as learning how to think in general? What is special about philosophy, is that it is neither religion or science, and it arose under conditions when there was a huge intersection of forces in the Mediterranean area that permitted more and more people to think freely and question everything. One needs a massive amount of history in addition to knowledge of ancient Greece and ancient Rome, to even approach philosophy or gain an appreciation of it. One also needs a massive amount of knowledge about the medieval era, to begin to approach philosophy. But start with the ancient Greeks first, then work backward to Oriental philosophy, to Indian philosophy, and so on. I see a lot of answers equating philosophy with some sort of linguistic or cognitive game, as though the ancient Greeks and everything else aren't the more important part of the picture. The answers seem unaware of history, and the correct image of philosophy. What I have just said isn't the entire answer as to what makes philosophy special, but what I have said is at least a small part of it. I'm sure there are some better answers. However, for now I will just say that the forces coming together in the Mediterranean, Ionia, Sicily, Greece, island of Samos, etc. contain one dimension.